The college football playoffs kicks off with the number 7 ranked Texas A&M Aggies hosting the number 10 ranked Miami Hurricanes in College Station. This is a matchup that I'm really excited for. Both teams have had really successful seasons. They're both excellent defensive football teams with some questions potentially on the offensive side of the ball. I think this is going to be a very close matchup, and I'm excited to break it down. But if you guys do enjoy these college football playoff previews, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and be sure to check out the other games that I will be discussing throughout the entire playoff. Leave a comment, let me know who you guys think is going to win this game. But let's go ahead and kick this off, starting off with the home team in Texas A&M. Texas A&M looked like a powerhouse for most of the season. They had some pretty massive wins going on the road to Notre Dame, on the road to LSU, but ended up losing the last game they played at Texas. This is an 11-1 football team with a lot of really good pieces on their roster, starting off with the offensive side of the ball. For a good portion of the season, Marcel Reed looked like a legitimate Heisman candidate. With over 2,900 yards and 25 touchdowns, this is a player that has had a really strong season. I don't think he's got the greatest arm in the world, but with the weapons that he has at his disposal, he has made really big plays time and time again for this Texas A&M offense, and he's been a huge piece on the ground where Texas A&M has really tapped in to his ability to run the football. Marcel Reed is second on the Aggies in rushing yards with 518, with Ruben Owens leading the way. This is a very well-balanced offensive attack. They love to get Marcel Reed in the open field as a rushing threat, but he has a ton of weapons at his disposal on the receiving side of this. Texas A&M has 2 receivers with over 800 yards, and Ashton Bethel-Roman comes in with around 500, but he's really stepped up in the last couple of weeks. This receiving core is led by KC Concepcion, who leads the team in receiving in touchdowns, receptions, and yards. He is a difference maker with the football in his hands, and the speed that this team has with KC Concepcion and Mario Craver are fantastic. But we can't talk about this Texas A&M offense without talking about the offensive line, which I think you could argue is the best in all of college football. All 5 of their starters have been absolutely fantastic this season in blocking. Demetrius Crownover's had a strong season. Chase Basantis has been great. This is a team that doesn't allow pressure, and they are very well-rounded on the interior of this offensive line. Armaj Reed-Adams, Mark Nebu, Chase Basantis. This is a well-balanced line that is going to have their work cut out for them against this Miami defense. On the defensive side of the ball, I still think this is a very strong A&M team, with Cassius Howell being one of the best pass rushers in all of college football. 12 sacks, 41 pressures, but I've been really impressed with how this team has been able to play the run in recent weeks. Tyler Onyedem has had a really strong season, the transfer from Iowa State. Albert Regis, the big nose tackle, is a strong run defender, and they've got pieces on this secondary. I think this is a very well-balanced team. On both sides of the ball, they have playmakers. Now, if I am going to talk about a weakness that this team has, they have struggled in some of these close games. And I think if they have to live on Marcel Reed's arm, they're going to be in a tough position. He has struggled under pressure this season. I think that's going to be the biggest talking point in this game, going up against the better pass rushers that he has faced. He had a bad game against Notre Dame. He was bad against Texas. He struggled at moments in that South Carolina game who have a good pass rush. And when we talk about this Miami team, Miami has the best pass rusher in the entire country in Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain has been phenomenal this year for the Miami defense. A guy with 58 pressures and 7 sacks. He impacts this game in a variety of ways, whether that be getting after the quarterback or making plays as a run defender. He is one of the best pass rushers and edge players in all of college football, and his running mate in Akeem Mesidor also has 44 pressures. This is going to be a tough matchup for this Aggies offensive line, and if they're not able to win in the trenches, I think it could get ugly for Marcel Reed. Now, on the opposite side, we got to talk about this Miami offense. They made a big splash this year when they went out to go get Carson Beck in the portal, and he has had some ups and downs. There's no way around it. 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's had a up and down year. Towards the middle of the season, he really started to taper off a little bit, but over the last few weeks, I think Carson Beck has played really strong football, had a great game against NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pitt, which ultimately were games that they won and ended up helping getting this team into the playoffs. He's an interesting one, though, because very similar to Marcel Reed, if he is under pressure, he is not a very good quarterback, and he doesn't make good decisions under pressure. But I think Miami's weapons, very similarly, have a lot of potential. Mark Fletcher has had a really strong year running the football with almost 700 yards and 10 touchdowns. He takes care of the ball. He is a physical runner that has 479 yards after contact and has forced 40 missed tackles this year. But I think if we're talking who has the best weapons in this game, I will give the edge to Miami because true freshman wide receiver Malachi Toney has been a sensation for this Hurricanes offense. His ability to play both inside and outside, he does most of his damage from the slot. 0 drops this year for him on 106 targets, 970 yards. This team has a plethora of weapons in Malachi Toney, CJ Daniels, Keelan Marion, that I think can really open this passing game up for Miami. On the defensive side, we talked about their pass rush, their run defense I think is very good, but they've had a really strong secondary this year as well, with Keontae Scott and Jacoby Thomas both having really big years in the secondary. This is going to be a heavyweight fight. I really think this game is going to be back and forth for 60 minutes, and you're going to see both offensive lines really come to play. Miami also has a great line, which we didn't mention. They've got a guy that's going to be a first-round pick in Francis Mauigoa. Markel Bell's had a good season. James Brockermeyer, their center, has allowed the most pressures on this team, but all 5 of their starters have allowed 10 pressures or less on the year. So this is a line that can protect Carson Beck, which they're going to need against a guy like Cassius Howell. I'm really intrigued by this game. I think, like I said, I think both teams have a lot to prove. The last time we saw Texas A&M, they went up against a dynamic pass rush, and they had some struggles, and Marcel Reed made some bad decisions late in that game. And I think that this Miami pass rush is better than the one they played at Texas. But on the opposite side, I don't know what this Miami offense is going to look like. They want to get the ball out of Carson Beck's hands quickly. They want him to make quick decisions. And if he has to hold on to the ball, make full reads, I really worry about this Miami team. Ultimately, I do think this game is going to come down to the defenses. And which defense do I trust more? Well, pound for pound, I think I trust A&M's defense slightly more. They've got playmakers at all 3 levels. Torian York has been excellent this year. I think ultimately that's what this game is going to come down to. I like the secondary of Texas A&M, and I think this is going to be a very close battle, but I will favor the home team in this game. I think Texas A&M has showed me more throughout the season. I am going to take the Aggies to win this game in a very tight one. I'm thinking this game is going to be 27-24. The defense makes just enough plays for the Aggies, and they come out on top in this one. Let me know in the comment section who you think wins this game, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.